there? No.
That's the microphone.
You're gonna get a little.
It's filming.
No. What I'm getting at is already happened.
Well, maybe
No,
it
it's
is.
still- yeah, it's
It's
still-
grabbing there.
See?
Okay, so that's
Yep.
all right. So this though needs to be.
I got to make sure from a loan servicing world.
Where does
if
this
that
need to be
lender
set then?
allows
Up
it,
there?
And if they
Yeah.
do,
Oh,
I
now it's
want
grabbing.
in writing stating, hey, if
Okay, it's not live.
investor assumed that loan
Oh, I
amount,
clicked it.
that was mine.
I
I want
clicked
in
go
writing
live.
from the lender stating if that investor fails to make the payments and are behind on payments, that
Really?
Hang on, was I?
Oh, good. Okay.
Will I?
It just took a minute.
Okay.
Because you're in the little square. You want it to write large.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a blue collar guy. I'll never forget.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's perfect.
Like that?
It's good blue collar people that get screwed in this.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it.
Yeah, that's
Put
good.
it down slightly.
Oh, this.
No.
Because my people,
There you go, right there.
Got it. All right.
Great.
So I forget. Does that go up there then?
I think it could be after.
No, we usually put it for the sound. So that we hear.
Oh,
Oh, I
yep,
thought
yep.
this was that's the camera.
Why do we normally use that?
I don't know. I thought this was the camera, but it's not because I'm moving.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just put it up there because it sits there. It's pretty. Okay, thank you. Did it work yet? Okay. Okay, we got this.
Good deal.
Okay. Okay.
You might not look at my calendar what I want from you is I want to breakfast I want to know that's all I need. I want to know what it is right now, what that's not going on. Even though it's just
right, good morning, everyone. So as you can see, we had a little bit of technical difficulty, so I'm not sure why we couldn't get it over here, but we have it over here. So I'm going to kind of read on this one. If you guys want to look over this way, you can look over this way. If you want to just kind of look at the blank screen and listen to me, we can do that as well. So we want to welcome you to the Lake County Eustace chapter of 1 Million Cups. And I think what we're going to do this morning, just because a little bit of a late start, a little bit of technical difficulties, let's start the day off with a drawing for one of our 1 Million Cups swag. So safety, come join me up front. Sadie's gonna draw.
There you go, you ready? Oh, she can take the bucket too. Wow.
So we've got Margaret J. Acker. I saw you.
There we go.
Come on up. You can have anything up here except my cup because it has coffee in it. Perfect. All right. So, once again, thank you for joining us today. We are the 1 Million Cups of Eustace Lake County. And a couple of housekeeping notes before we get started. If we can, let's make sure we silence our cell phones because we want to give our presenter today our undivided attention. If we can, let's keep side conversations to a minimum. Because again, we don't want to interrupt Byron in his presentation today. Bathrooms, women's is behind me, men's is up here in the corner. And did we get the Facebook Live going?
Yes.
All right, so we are live on Facebook. If you know somebody that is and has an interest in joining us today, but has not been able to as of yet, please ask them to join us on Facebook. They can comment on there. They can join in as if they're here. I got stuck in a snowstorm last week, so I watched it from outside of Nashville, and I was commenting on there. Delaney monitors our Facebook feed, and if you have a question, a thought, a comment, she will relay that. She lets us know that there's comments coming in from Facebook. We want the people watching us live to be just as involved and part of the program as we are here when we come here live in person, and then we hope that that'll roll over to in person as well. So, we want to start off, as always, we want to thank our hosts at Mega Workplace. This is kind of something that George and Pam took, we were talking this morning, almost 2 years to put together to bring the UCF incubator here. So, this is always our time to thank George. George, do you want to do your introductions?
Good morning. I'm George with Mega Workplace here. This is a shared collaborative workplace. Our dream was to make this a hub for entrepreneurs and to capture all facets of the entrepreneurial support, everything, as you know, from SPDC to UCF that we started talking to some couple of years ago. We have a shared office space that's available up over here. If you want to join or be part of the facility, welcome to talk with me and I'll share any information you have. A couple of people I wanted to introduce this morning. Maria Alberti from the Chamber of Commerce in Eustis. Jermaine from Lake County's Economic Development. And let's see, do we have any other chamber? Oh, our own Al over there. Al Latimer, our Economic Development Director. And our city manager in the back in the green shirt, Tom Perino from the city of Eustis. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting our vision for economic development and for entrepreneurial advancement.
Thank you, George. All right. And we want to thank our coffee sponsors. Everybody's enjoying coffee. Everybody's enjoying the pastries. So our coffee sponsors for the month is goes Alice Latin Coffee. I got to tell you, it's awesome coffee. And we want to thank Todd House from Seacoast Bank for sponsoring the pastries. And we got a little side plug from Wendy for the fruits and the cheeses, because she had an event that Todd was part of yesterday that we have leftovers that we wanted to share with you guys as well. So, who's here for the first time? Lots. All right. What we'd like to do, introduce yourselves and your business. Yourself and your business, please. Not what you do, how you do it, who you do business for. This is a non-networking type thing, and we'll get into this more. So if you can stand up and with Tracy, name of business.
Tracy with Tracy Grow
Kyle Weaver, All American Construction Services.
Any more? Alan, you've been here. All right. So, you're on. Oh, that's our video. Let's watch our videos when we got this. We have this. Let's get that. Again, this is why we did a giveaway, because we're not techies. I'm not a techie. So I'm going off of this. Oh, we got our video again. So, what is 1 million cups? Everybody's enjoying coffee, everybody's enjoying pastries. It is where business professionals, business owners, they come every week, they are here to support our presenters. It is where the presenter has a challenge. It's what we like to refer to as what keeps them up at night. Who can present? It is anybody with a business concept or an idea. So if you wake up at night and you have something going through your head going, you know what, I think that might make a pretty good business. And we've had presenters that will do that. This is where we want you to present. And they did it just to get feedback. Does this make sense? Do you think it would gain traction and be worth pursuing further? If you sat down with somebody and you put some notes on paper and you kind of taken it one step further from a thought to paper, this is where we want you to come. Give those thoughts and ideas. You've got a room full of professionals, very successful professionals, that are going to give you their feedback on how to take that to the next level. If it goes to the next level and you become a business in 1 to 5 years, you're going to work with John Doringus back there at the Small Business Development Center. You're going to work with Wendy at the UCF Incubator. You've got everything that you need under one roof to make that business successful. So you're a business 1 to 5 years. You're going to have challenges. You're going to have challenges if you've been in business for 20 years. But the purpose behind 1 million cups is for newer businesses to succeed. I think the biggest rate of failure is within the first 5 years. I'm not sure the numbers, but it's like 70-75% of businesses will not make 5 years. After that, I think it's like a 90% success rate. So if you're in that 1 to 5 years, you have a challenge, you have a what keeps me up at night program or thought, we want you up here because you're professionals that are sitting here every week enjoying coffee, enjoying pastries. They're going to help give you thoughts on how to overcome that. And then lastly, if you're an established business, and we've had some of those, where you're looking to take on a new leg of your business or add a new portion to your business, not directly related with what your current business is, you want to expand and say, hey, I want to get into this area, we want you up here presenting. Because you can run a successful business, but when you expand into a new area, that's a challenge. So we have several successful business people that have managed those challenges as well that are going to help you. So that is why and who we want to present. Yeah, if we can get past that next slide.
Yeah.
Yes. So, when we meet, we come here. What 1 million cups is, it is presenting. What 1 million cups is not, it is not a sales pitch. We're not here to fundraise. We are not here to say, hey, I need business and I need everybody here to get for me. You're here to present, you're here to present a challenge, and you're here to get feedback. Kind of the same thing from the people attending. When somebody has a challenge, we really don't want the people in the audience going, you know what, I can handle that. You need my business. It's a business-to-business support program. Somebody said yesterday, oh, Marie, where'd Marie go? What did you call it yesterday?
Being here,
Yeah, the business,
our business crack. Like,
no, not business crack, it is business crack.
okay.
I'm so glad the officer.
Therapy.
Business therapy.
Therapy.
It's correct. Hey, thank you, but business therapy, yes, exactly. you come here, we want everybody to feel comfortable, we want everybody to come here and connect, because we are connected. But we're not coming here to network, and again, in the 30 plus minutes before the meeting, to solicit others in the building that are attending for their business. There's a lot of great programs for that. This is not one of them. So we're presenters and not bitches. We're connecting and not networking. All right, this is our safe place for business success and business support. So we've already done one giveaway. After Byron's presentation, we're going to do a second one. And there's lots of cool stuff. I'm telling you guys, I don't know why. I'm going to put this up here. Pam's dad made these little coasters. They're the coolest things up here on the table. I don't think 1 million couples have seen that, so I can say that. If they don't like it, then they can hire Pam's dad and they come nationwide. So again, this is just real quick of who can present, if you want to take a quick snapshot of that. But business ideas, 1 to 5 years, what keeps you up at night as an established business. We want to stay connected. We want to build our audience and our population and our fund that we have every Wednesday. So we have our 1 Million Cups Facebook page. It is Lake County Eustis. And it's Lake County Eustis because we want this to incorporate all of Lake County and not just the Eustis area. South Lake, North Lake, we want everybody here. We did some attendance from Groveland and Clearmont areas in the South Lake, so in the South Lake areas. We have a Facebook website, it's 1millioncups.com/Lake County/Eustis or .Eustis. You'll find us, just search 1 Million Cups Lake County Eustis, and again, go on the page, like the page, then you'll get regular updates. You can go see who's presenting. If you want to present, there's a tab, click on the tab, fill out an application to present. If you want to become an organizer, click on the tab, fill out the organizer tab. Speaking of organizers, this is the list of everybody that we have as organizers. Today, we've got a whole list. We've got 16 out there. We're running kind of short staffed. There's just life happens, meetings happen, and we're probably less than half the people on the board are here today. We're always looking for more organizers. I asked me yesterday about becoming an organizer. We'd love to have you out. You can go to the website, click on the organizing tab, apply to be an organizer, and we'll get you in to help us organize. So before we get started, we kind of like to get everybody warmed up a little bit. So question of the day. What's the best piece of business advice you've ever got?
Not everybody is your customer.
Like it?
Reverse engineer your business.
What does that mean?
Reverse engineer your business.
What does that mean?
Like if you want to make a certain amount of money, work backwards on how many contracts, how many deals you need to do.
Yeah, so do you do that like with goal planning every year?
I'm sorry?
Do you do that goal planning every year?
Yes.
That's kind of working backwards. This is what I want to do. Yeah, that's a great one. Great.
Treat people the way you want to treat them.
Absolutely. Very good.
Success doesn't have to be all hustle, it can be easy.
Very good. Anyone else?
Professionals act as they must, not as they feel.
Here.
Top line is for vanity, bottom line is for sanity.
I like it. My old boss told me it's business is never personal. You know, when you're doing business with somebody, it's just business. It's not personal. So if you don't do business, don't go, you know what, Rich, you and I are done. We're no longer friends because we're not doing business. It's not personal. It's just business. So those are some great suggestions. We can take them back. And before we get to Byron, real quick, one thing I wanted to mention. Somebody said one time, I was kidding with them about presenting. They're like, yeah, you know what, I'm really comfortable back here. This is the great thing when you tell your friends and your business partners about coming, that it's like, I don't want to get up there. It's not about getting up here. I've had so many comments, we've had so many comments sitting back here, helping the presenter, but getting great business advice yourself that you take back to your business just by being here every week. So again, if you have people that are a little hesitant thinking that it's like they're going to get up and talk in front of people, not at all. You're just going to come here, something's going to come up that they may have run across at some point in time. They're going to contribute to help that, but then in the meantime, you're going to get all these other responses that might help your business. So, for the 4 out of and then we're gonna go with roughly about 20 minutes of feedback. Byron's gonna be our only presenter today. Normally we go 22 minutes total. We've got a little bit of extra time, so we'll give Byron a little bit extra feedback. I've known Byron a long time, so I'm more than happy to do that for him. So if we can, let's welcome Byron to the podium.
That's there. And I think she's gonna put it up over there. Forward. Special thanks to Jeremy before I start for getting that TV working. As a photographer, I kind of wanted to show pictures today, so that was fairly important. Oh, it starts with the word M, million. I hope it's not. That's the one. Ignore the one that says map of race course. That could be something different. But anyway,
Byron, why don't you stand in that
Yeah, I'm gonna
area
stand.
so we don't have to keep going back and forth. This is it.
that's it. Perfect. So, as much of the translated esports photo, digital sports, event photography, on-site printing, social media, sharing, photo groups. Those of you who have known me for a long time have probably heard me say that 8,000 times. But the story actually starts about 45 years before that, when I got my first camera. It's one of those cases where, you know, a kid gets a camera at 5, 6 years old, and even though it's a 110 camera, and I had to buy film, and I had to pay for developing, that took a week, and I still knew enough to be very conscious and very deliberate in picture taking back then, because it was expensive and a long process, and I at least knew enough to turn the flash on if I was inside and to turn it off when I was outside. So we kind of move forward from there. So there's slide 2. You know, age 14, I'm covering an event with a photographer for a newspaper. I have no idea why at age 16 I was allowed to go to Bike Week and cover stuff like that. Luckily, this is a period of my life I'm like learning darkroom, so like I could develop now pictures, and that's the only one I think that's safe for this environment that we're in today. The story goes through like my high school yearbook, which I had to focus by hand. I don't think I want to focus soccer by hand again. And then also in that slide talks about some early magazine and sports work with Florida Football Magazine, and changing over from film and manual over to digital, which was terrible, but it was functional, and that's what we were using at the time. So, skipping way ahead, because I think we're almost in minute 3. Add 25 years of corporate life in there, and then we're going to start overlaying photo booths. In my company, I've always wanted to find a niche or something that is underserved in the market. I'm not really out to take anybody else's photo gig. I mean, you can find a lifestyle outdoor family photographer and 100 of them in 5 minutes, and I have no interest in that. I don't have a lot of interest in weddings. I don't have a whole lot of interest in pets, but I do have interest in developing new pieces of business that are partially underserved. And I started that in way up in the upper corner on 10-10-10. So October 10th, 2010, we start with photo booth 1. It has a 75-pound printer, a webcam, a shop light, a computer that you had to push the button to activate it. I have no idea why people hired me back again with such terrible technology, but that's all I had at the time. And then, actually, this is actually amazing. Misty was one of the very first people ever in photo booth 2. I remember that event. And then we kind of went on from there. So we have iPad-based booths that are totally portable and battery powered, spinning photo booths where the camera goes around and around and around and makes videos, booths that have printers, booths that are smaller than me that fit anywhere, inside booths in case who knows what's happened to the photo booth. Well, I do, because I get all the pictures. But photo booths. That's my real retirement plan. Used to sell all the pictures and stuff because paintings are infamous. And then the last slide just basically says, if you take all these things apart, you can still have a camera, a laptop, and a printer, and you can aim it at Santa Claus, and you can stuff like that. So that's a I do, but where else do I work and what else do I do? That's the next thing that's popping up on the screen right now. Those are sporting events. So I have the technology and also event photography. So if you've ever run a marathon or biked a triathlon, showed up at some type of a business party or Sweet 16 or drove your Jeep on Daytona Beach on the Speedway, I might be the person that photographs that. So here comes the new idea. So I've already do all of that. And it seems like plenty, but it's really only on the weekends. People, I don't, perfectly honest, I don't do a lot of work like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, because no one's doing that. So the new idea is going to wrap around headshots. And headshots is one of those pieces of photography that you probably know you should go get. You know, it's like going to the doctor or eating broccoli or like running a mile. Like you should probably do that, and it's probably something that needs to be done every once in a while, but you put it off and you put it off and you put it off. And why do you sometimes do that? Well, it can be time consuming. Last time I went for a headshot session, like that I just did to myself, it was like an hour. I had to like drive there, I had to sit there, you know, the person had to take like pictures and it can be expensive. The most expensive headshot photographer I can find is Peter Hurley's in New York. The sitting fee for 90 minutes is $1,500, and then it's $300 an image for him to finish the image and then like deliver it so you have print rights each. So you could actually show up and get 0 images, but so $1,800 out the door. But and it varies. 300, 200, 100. One of my asks will talk about pricing this a little bit. Other people just they don't like their look. It can be stressful. The idea that you actually have to go there and be ready, use it in front of a camera. Camera is pretty intimidating with that big lens, just scare anybody at you if the only thing you see. People claim that they've done it already. Yeah, but when? You look like you did one in 2010, 2012, 2014.
If it was a real, it was like 1980.
Correct. And then my last example says prior bad experience. I've been to a wedding where the photographer was Indian. I have no idea why he got hired or why he ever got hired again, but some people just had a prior bad experience with the photographer. They just don't click. You know, it's an uncomfortable situation altogether. So those are the 5 reasons that I've come up with, and most people come through this. And these are the things that I overcome with this idea coming up in the next slide. So the idea is called Headshots and Happy Hour, and it's combining a social event with a headshot event at the same time. So this is the idea. It's not time consuming because you're already there for something else. Express headshots is what I want to specialize in, which is kind of like a 5 to 7, 10-minute session. Most people's headshots in this room, unless like you're a high-end model that wants to sit in the front row of American Idol or something and has to submit a headshot for, you don't need an hour, you don't need 4, yeah. If you're not going to be on the cover of a magazine, and you don't need 7 costume changes and change your hair and change your makeup and change your, you probably need 5 to 7 minutes from the photographer. We can get shots from this side, this side, this side, and make it a social event. If you're there with your friends, you're probably a little less stressed than if you're just there yourself. Make it a convenient spot. I don't have the studio. I have to bring all of the technology to you. So Headshots and Happy Hour can show up in an office space, potentially a restaurant, potentially, and that's something else that's part of my ask. And I can do the work. I'm glad we got the TV because I've been showing off a couple images that I've done recently. And then the last is the ask. On the last screen, just had before. Oh, wait, okay. Okay, so totally portable. It's 6 feet tall, 6 feet wide. I kind of need about 8 feet depth, but I can bring all the technology to you. This thing on the bottom is called an highlighter. If you've never had your photo with an highlighter, it puts this nice little smile highlight in your eyes. It's actually amazing. By the way, I should charge extra just to use that. And so the questions are, I remember, like, oh, there they are, good. What environments do you think would value without it feeling cheap.
All right, Byron, come up here because we didn't move the microphone.
Okay.
To our Facebook crowd, we apologize. We kind of got things going real quick. But Byron's asked today for a headshot. What environments do you see that would be conducive to social styling? Headshots, and then what price point represents your value without this feeling cheap? I will be honest with you.
Okay.
I'll start it off. If you get upstairs when you leave, I got a business card on there, look at it. And then tell me when you think I got that picture taken. It was 9+ years ago. You know why? I went to work, they said we're doing headshots tomorrow, I got a haircut, I put a jacket on, I didn't think I owned a suit, took it and going, wow, that's really good. I have kept that to this day for nearly 10 years. People come, it's like, you want to do headshots? I'm like, nope. So, I understand completely.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
But if you had a bad headshot, you'd hopefully be able to update it, more often.
So,
Many times, if you ask the industry professionals, which are photographers that want more business, they would suggest men get their headshots done every 1 to 2 years and women every year.
alright, so let's answer his questions. Thoughts?
Yeah.
I've gone to conferences where
Yeah.
I was in it and the photographer showed up and did if there were 50 people presenting or in the conference, they did right then and there, and that was real easy.
And express style, just
Yeah, it was like
done?
one after another, and
What
they
was
took
the
like
price?
maybe, I don't know because I didn't pay for it. Good question.
It's included with the, whatever conference you're going to, it's like, you have a big
Yeah.
headshot.
Yeah, it's in the conference fees.
Well, and that was also probably a package deal that the people that were in charge of the conference paid for everybody that was in it. So I don't know the price point.
Okay, yeah. Business conferences, anyone from a business conference that wanted to add that service, you can get that figured out, absolutely.
Would you offer before and after? Could we maybe pick a la carte before we start doing it and then after we start?
I was gonna say, before or
Can we
after,
have a price point for that?
before or
Like,
after the cocktail?
exactly. You add that to the price too.
We can do that. Basically, once the event was set up, as people could come through, if they need to come through the line again, we're gonna have a set amount of time, I thought about that already.
Definitely fine.
Good morning. I don't have the price point, but you might consider garden clubs, red hatter clubs, 55+ communities. They have all types of events. Campgrounds. People love it. If you bring this service to them, they will come.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Now, is this something that, let's say, hey, I'm having a summer soiree and there's 30 people coming that pays X amount, or are you looking for, like, let's say a venue and said, hey, give me $300 that day, I'll take as many headshots as I want. Like, what are you leaning after?
So, most of my business is event-based, where either the event director, it's paid once. Because it's such a specialized service, and the price, it's worth it to me, I would actually do this on an a la carte basis.
So,
With a pre-registration, knowing that there's not going to be at least, 8 people there that day, we would just have to, we'd have to figure that part out.
okay.
Yeah, either way. Yeah?
I think we got, Margaret?
Yeah,
Hi.
so 2 things.
Sure.
You're both basically getting the headshots, and let you know I got mine done, and you guys go down to Fairland Park.
Okay.
I just, from other people I would recommend more people, but he is only part-time. And so I know that there's a market for that kind of on location.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of following what other people are going, if you're looking at, I'm setting up an event and we're paying per person as opposed to the event is paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of then working in kind of
Like after the big breakfast or lunches, hey, we're gonna go get shots.
Okay.
And I feel like that'd be like the simplest but most effective right after.
So like pre-advertised before. Right, this is over at, I don't know,
Business
9.
after hours,
Mhm.
like the changes that still do that, just reach out and kind of look after that.
Cool.
All right, we're gonna go to that. But something to think about too while we go through these. One of the questions: what's a price point? What's too much and what's not enough? So we'll go Jesse, Rolanda, and then Tracy. Jesse. And then
So, who do you view as your target client? Who's your ideal client for this?
So my ideal client, there's two. There's the independent small business person that would come to a social event, to get this done. And that would be like the Facebook person type model. But also the corporate client that says, we're making our company directory for our stockholders. We need to have every single person that works here on blue background number 6 with light setting number 14, and you can have our conference room from 9 to 6 on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
So, both.
So, piggybacking off the Chamber of Commerce,
Sure.
I was thinking an after-hours event like that, where you have your pre-registrations, and thinking about price point, like I think $100, if you have more than 5 people, say, hey, I can come do this for $100. If we have more than 10 people sign up, we can do it for $80, and you would get incentivized in an event like that to get more people to sign up and prepay, not pay on site, but okay, here's a Square link or here's a whatever link based on those registrations.
Okay.
I think that would add value, but also not feel cheap. Because then if me and Maureen are at the same event and we're like, hey, we can save $20 if I let her know, hey, he's doing headshots. It doesn't feel cheap. It just feels like I'm getting an even better deal for quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
We're gonna go to that, Joe, let's skip over him and then we'll go. Joe?
You're highly visible, most every event. What about simply penetrating each and every one of those? Those are relationships you often.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to grow that relationship. And it's there, the people are there. And if it's advertised properly, and it could be, not to throw the tourism type thing in like Disney, but, everybody gets their picture taken and then they can purchase that. And I know that's a lot of work on the front end, but I would assume it's digital.
There's software to facilitate that now.
Yeah.
I can shoot straight basically into an iPad that does all the distribution, it does all
Some of the
marketing and
events
sales,
are
like,
already
yeah.
at 200 and 300 people, and most all of them are professionals in the county. That's a huge way to penetrate existing relationships.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, thank you.
we'll go to Rolanda, then we'll go to Facebook, and then we'll go to Tracy.
Right.
Rolanda Qualls with QRX Consults. This was one of my asks last week, was I need new headshots. I'm 2 years old. I got it from a lovely lady in the Villages for $75 for about 10 shots, but I had to go out to her place and drive an hour in the traffic to get there. So $99 if it's someplace local would be awesome for like 5 to 10 prints or downloads. And I have a place for you. There's a little place called Petite Foray that my doctor has, and this is used for events like this, birthday parties, anniversary parties. You can rent it, and we did cocktails and candy canes through the Lake County Chamber of Commerce. So that would be someplace you could get a bunch of people to, and they pay for it all up front, and you go and just network for $10. But something like that would be good.
What town, I'm sorry, what town is that in?
The Petite Foray is actually in Lady Lake.
Okay, perfect, yeah. My car goes there, they're all fixing cars, so.
All right, Todd Headley said kids, sporting events, team and individual photos, and I let him know that you're already currently doing that.
Yeah, I've done that.
And he said, I thought so too, but couldn't hear. He said that also if you were wanting to put on, this is me, not him. If you were wanting to put on your own thing, lollygaggers, if it's still called that.
Yeah, I know.
The upstairs would be an amazing spot just for you and your equipment.
Tracy, then Greg.
Okay,
And then we'll read this out.
Yes.
Spaces like this, so I have two, that have the price.
Yeah.
Part two, but spaces like this, co-working houses, I've done stuff like that before, where they have like after hours events for people who are members there, who work there, they have events and they have these, so you can do that, there's a ton of places like that, so a place like this. Price point, I'm gonna like be a little bit different than everybody else, because I do charge $300 for one headshot.
Okay.
So I'm always about the value, like maybe a little bit higher, but it depends. So if you're gonna just go in, whip them out, you're gonna choose everybody's favorite, go with that low price point. If you're gonna come in, you're gonna bring your laptop, your iPad, or whatever, you're gonna shoot a few, and then you're gonna spend time with each person, letting them choose their favorite. I would go with a higher price point, because now you're adding different value. So I think it just depends on what it is they're getting. They're like, this, 5 to 7 minutes, they're in and out, you pick your favorite, you send it to them, go with maybe, $100 or something. If it's the value of spending time with them and letting them pick that favorite, and maybe going back if they don't like it, then maybe it's, 150, 180, something like that.
I think at that point, you just set an hourly rate of, my time is worth this much. And for this event, it's gonna take 20 minutes, so you're gonna charge a third of that price. Great, and we'll get over here.
A lot of great ideas, but I'll just sum it up, Byron, and no, you're absolutely right. You're everywhere. You're everywhere. So I think you just need to, whatever function you're going to, let them know to promote that you're going to do headshots while you're doing the shots there. And I think that's the best way to go. You're everywhere.
You could have here.
Yeah. Well, and here's a good example. You can do that one day where it's promoted the next week that, hey, come dressed up and I'm going to do headshots here. But then, we got the realtor job out there and you're always there. That's something that should be promoted this time to where, let them know that, hey, you're going to be doing headshots.
Update your 1987 headshot.
Correct.
Yeah.
You spent all time.
I have a filter, I can put you back to 1987, just
Obviously, I think you said we didn't do pets. One of the ideas that I thought about a while back is a lot of these farmers markets, and again, it's primarily on weekends. There are so many dogs with their owners there. I just wondered what are your thoughts on having like a photo booth, or maybe in there and saying, photo with your dog.
Sure. There's just so many people that I know that's like already a business they're in. I'm fine to refer that back. Like, I'm fine to refer birthing photos to someone that cares. But,
It's not your niche. It's not your niche.
Not your niche.
yeah.
Who wants to see a birthing photo on the wall behind the microphone?
Somebody's in business doing it, so, and you want a number? If you need a number, okay. Where's Caleb now?
All right, we're gonna, Tom, Marie, and then back here, and then Tom.
So I know what you do is maybe a little more intangible than like a manufactured product. But between time and equipment and travel expenses, what's your cost of doing this? I mean, obviously you want to charge more than your cost.
So the last time I calculated it, like my very base cost, where you just take fixed cost divided by 2,000, is like basically $75 per operating hour. So right about there.
Including your travel time.
I just wanted.
Yeah, that would be.
Including getting to and coming from.
As an affiliate member of the Realtors Association of Lake and Sumter County, I'm sure you've done business with a lot of real estate agents in the community, but they have different events, and it might be wonderful to connect with Kayla over there and have her bring you in and do something like that, where that's an added benefit. We're having a luncheon or we're having some sort of a meeting, and then afterwards people can take advantage of your services. I mean, everybody needs to do that job.
And it's all sponsored by Power Solar.
Oh yeah, I'm Alan Wild.
So to touch on, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Deborah, with the RV parks, which is our biggest industry we work with, those people love the highlight of the park. The 55 and up communities, the traveling RVs. There's a group that travels around America that just does square dancing lessons
or pickleball.
Yes. And those people want to be presented when they pull in, hey, here's Deborah so-and-so, the president of the square dancing team. Here's her headshot. This is who you're going to locate. But then they have the vice president, the treasury, the director, and then there's the people that live in that park year round. And there's the same things, the HOA and all that. They thrive off of the attention. So that would be a huge thing to have their picture up on their community board.
You know, like, I'm the president of the HOA in my kind of community. I don't want anybody knowing that.
Sure.
I have two questions for you. So, the first one, do you like doing headshots?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, pet owners, I know Todd just mentioned it, so pet owners, we are freaks about our pets, right? Yes, honey, yes. Have you thought about doing pet headshots?
So there are several events that I've done that have been just pet-based. For me, the work-reward ratio to get the attention of the pet, and it's hard to do it in express style.
As opposed to at an event environment, like you said, weekends you're busy with the sports and stuff. But what if you were in the villages and you went to a community and it was pet headshot day? And the retired, they have time, that fills your calendar, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. And it's at the community center. It's organized and they bring little Susie Poodle and they post Susie Poodle. And I mean, it would be really tough. I think about my mother-in-law with her dog, and this dog drives me crazy. So, like, that could be a market, pet headshot, but go to the communities that have time for it, and then it fills that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time slot.
Great.
We have, in Chamber, we have a group that we start up at professionals.
Oh, okay.
And, so, having that event, I mean, they have selfies galore, but having a professional opportunity to get their headshot at that event, like you're saying, that dovetails right into it, and it would be member-based. But I mean, price point, you know, you don't have to really go anywhere. If you can cut your expenses on travel and everything, then it's you know, it's that profit margin that you get in there and you can do. And then they're going to refer you to their other professional associations that they belong to. And every time I do research, I always look at the board of directors. Now, the ones that have professional ones done, I'm impressed with that. The other ones, not so much. It doesn't look very professional. So, you know, being on any kind of board, the word would spread. It would be a professional, professional headshot. So, yeah, I mean, I already have a date, so.
Oh, okay.
All right, Greg, did you get something? All right, go ahead.
Just a couple of quick ideas.
Sure.
Like the associations, like the quarterly, they do new member orientations.
Oh, okay.
They're just coming into it, they don't have that headshot. From a previous, like, you know, you could go in and as an add-on for $20, you know, they get free shots. You can knock out 5 of them in an hour if you're about 7 minutes apiece. You know, you might be able to get that in this kind of add-on. You're gonna be dressed up anyway, or something like that, or, you know, you kind of incorporate that. Not only about the China corporations here, but sales meetings. You know, there's a lot of offices that they include sales meetings. Same thing, you can go in, you know, $25 for your express sitting, you know, and just like that, there's a lot of companies that do weekly or bi-weekly sales meetings, and there's like, you know, everything's now.
Yeah.
Well, you something on Facebook? Now,
So, just thinking about your add-ons, you talked about the smile light that's kind of just under the eyes. Are there additional add-ons that would be offered as a part of this service, or would all of that be included in the same price?
So everything, generally, if I would take your headshot, like right now, I'm gonna set up that light system. That's just kind of like the new thing, to have that down there, whatever. But yeah, I call it realistic editing. So you're still gonna look like you. We're not gonna like change and more. We'll do realistic editing, and then you'll get generally I'd send back 3 finished images. One with a totally white background, one with a just cut out with no background at all, and then one with like either whatever your company wants, or you can, there's, just a different background behind it. So 3 finished images, basic editing, and that's kind of there. If someone wanted additional photos, finished, that could be an add-on. So say you wanted, this one, and this one, and this one, then that would just be an add-on to that.
Full retouching would be enough.
Oh yeah, and if you wanted, a new chin, a new nose, for me, extra hair, extra tan, then yeah, we would. Tattoo removal.
Melissa McAfee from Crafted Scent Bar said, tell Byron I want to collab and do a small business event where they can get a headshot and create a business signature scent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Jeremy.
So with this service, because it sounds like you're talking about a couple different products. So
Okay.
When I hear about an express headshot, it's something that's fast. It's almost like McDonald's. You go in, you order the burger, you get it in 3 minutes because it's inexpensive and it's fast. That's it's food, and you've got different varieties of that. When you go into editing and those upcharges, that's like a completely different product in my mind. You don't go to McDonald's and ask them for a rare steak. So are you looking for this as, this is going to be a product that I can fill my time with, or this is going to be a pseudo loss leader where I know I'm not going to make as much money on this headshot because I'm trying to get upsell?
So basically that editing that I'm just mentioning is retouch and back product replacement automated.
Right.
So
see, I don't know that as a consumer, which
I know,
great.
yeah.
But if you're talking about, hey, and I don't know if you were joking, hey, if you want to make more hair, and all, because there is additional editing that you can
Oh,
do.
yeah.
So if you're looking at this as almost like a loss leader, where, hey, I'm not going to make as much money because this is quick and automated, so I can do 5, 8 sessions an hour and charge $50 a session because it's all automated. It's taking very little of my time. But I want to use this to collect information to then market and upsell for more corporate events where you're going into an office, because that's a different type of product, a social event versus in an office and the pricing structures. So if I brought you in my office, I wouldn't want to pay per headshot if I'm
No.
express photos and be an hourly basis. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're right. It is 2 different, the pay to play versus the, and even though it's express, the back end's pretty automated.
Yeah.
And you're right, it can be a very good lead generator or introduction to say, oh my gosh, he actually can do this. He did it for me, now who else do I know?
Right. And if that's the case, from my perspective, partnering with existing events, like it's been mentioned several times, is a great way to do it. If you're going to create your own event, it adds a lot of cost to it. I don't know that a social hour with a headshot is enough for me to come out.
Okay.
Even if I needed a headshot, only because there's so many events going on after hours. I mean, you flip a point and there's probably an event every single night. There's 2 or 3 events. So rather than adding noise, unless you're bringing additional value, so you're bringing an additional speaker, more than just have a drink and get together, because there's so many of those events going on. So tacking on to existing, or what additional value can you bring to an event to bring more people, whether it's like industry or demographic, to get people.
I like that. Create an event with,
We got about 2 minutes left. Harvard.
I see you as having 3 different products from what you're describing.
Okay.
It's going, as he was talking about, kind of the person that's receiving the photos, paying it, it's somewhat impersonal. We're going, I'm showing up at this event because I know it'll be there, maybe I'll pay for that. And if it's just here's the one headshot, it's due straight, we're just doing the lighting, slight editing, you're saying it's 5 minutes. Personally, if I was at a And each of them have slightly different wording and marketing, and it's just for my price point piece. I think to market to an organization that's paying for it, I think it would be going, this is how much I'm gonna charge. You would have two things, of going, here's my setup fee, of going, for me to show up. This
Okay,
is
right.
my base fee is X number, and how many people you're gonna have me do. So I'm just gonna big numbers, $300 to set up and 50 for each person. And I think that model would make sense. If you didn't want to do per person, you could do, minimum 25 people, and 25 to 50, 50 to 75, over 75 this much per additional. I don't know how many hours you want to work, how many people, what scale of setup, but I think if you had it from a corporate standpoint, they're going to have a budget and they're going to have a number of people that are coming. And if you can go, this is how much it costs for you to just show up, and now how many people do you have, that makes sense for the service provider. It's similar to how a wedding photographer would set up something and going, okay, well, how many people are going to be there, how many hours, this is my fee to just have me show up and put you on my calendar. And you just have different, you have three different products is what you're offering. One is a service for a company. The other is kind of, I'm providing a service, but your members are going to be paying for it, so there's a gamble on how much you'll pay. And the other is going, I'm here, it's more impulsive.
And let me follow up, that's a great point, and follow up with a thought, and then Delaney's gonna finish this up. So is there like a photography association or group for multiple photographers? Because you can take that and say, you know what, I don't wanna do these, I just wanna do this one. But then if it comes to that, say, you know what, I know somebody that does, Tracy does these. Tracy goes this, and you know what, that's not my wheelhouse, but I know that Byron does. Where it's almost like an internal referral program to each other. I don't know, like the affiliate board of realtors, there's everything but real estate agents that can work together. And maybe that's something where you just narrow down what you want to do. So it's not, bring that umbrella down to a smaller point, and then work with partners that do what you don't, and you'll do what they don't. Let's finish it up with Delaney.
I was just gonna say, real life scenario, we had someone very similar come in to our B&I group that meets here on Thursday mornings, and we were told before he got there, like the day before, hey, just so you know, there's going to be a professional photographer there. He is going to be available to do a headshot for you for, I think it was $20 or something like that, 20, 25, okay, well, I don't know, I got mine free because I, it wasn't free because of him, he got paid, but I was free because of B&I. Anyway, so basically, he stood over here in the corner up against that beautiful wall right there, and it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous headshot, but he rattled them off, and people already came dressed really nice, so because they were there for a business event. And so I think that's your moneymaker. People are already dressed up nice for a business event. Social hours kind of give or take, hit or miss. So we were told ahead of time. We came in. Some people did the impulse buy because they were already there. They saw how good he was doing. He offered to take pictures of our event, right? So it wasn't an event, it was just a meeting. But he went around and he took pictures from every angle of our meeting as well. So obviously you're not going to be doing headshots while the meeting is going on, so that made sense for him. Everybody saw him looking very professional around the room as we're speaking, as we're doing our meeting. So he stayed top of mind during the whole meeting. So anyway, just some ideas to throw at you. There's a lot of networking opportunities here in Lake County. Even I was searching Facebook for networking in my area, and it was just like list. So if you could even by chance contact the leader of each one of those, the admin of each one of those on Facebook, and say, hey, this is a service I'm offering. Is this something your group could benefit from? And if so, maybe offer them the free headshot to come to their, their whatever and be able to whip a bunch of those out. Anyway, just an idea.
We're going to have to wrap up because we want to respect everybody's time, but let's thank Byron for his.
Last question. What's the last question? What can we ask? what can we as a community do to help you?
Dress nice, look pretty. My job easier. Make sure your hair is combed.
And Todd Headley thinks you should do some scratch and sniff headshots.
Hopefully the battery died before that. We're gonna do
So
it.
yeah, that was amazing. Thank you all.
Yeah, we're gonna, for the first time, this is what it's about. And we could have continued, but this is what we do every week and how we support our local business owners. At this point, we are going to do community announcements.
So there's no way I can see if I take the glasses off.
And while I have the floor, there's about 7 of you that did not register. We like to keep track of everybody, so if on your way out, just sign your name, please.
All right, our winner is Jesse, so you're gonna pick, community announcements. Anybody got an announcement? John, do you want to talk about your CEO exchange?
Yes.
John?
Me?
CEO exchange?
I have 3 spots left. So if anybody's interested, we're starting in February. Have been in business for 1 year, 800,000 in sales, 4 employees, stable and ready to grow and expand. Mandatory monthly meetings. But we're meeting in Bella Colina, so it's kind of nice.
What is it?
Pardon me?
What is it? I don't know what you're talking about.
CEO Exchange?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a brain trust group. There'll be 15 members that will meet on a monthly basis to discuss problems and solutions, give each other ideas. No competing industries in the room, one of each kind, and we will have presentations, outside speakers. This will be the 4th one in Central Florida. The other 3, the same members have been there for 10 years, so it has value. But I'm looking for 3 more people who will limit it to 15. And I had someone who bowed out, so I need, before we can start, I need to go.
Saturday, there's a joint food drive for Lake Airs, the Rotary Club, and the 3 fire departments, Eustis, Tavares, and Honduras, are joining together. So the fire station, what's the name of it?
22?
Fire station number 22 in Eustis. Bring canned goods to there and contingent food. And we're just filling the shelves over Lake Airs. So on Saturday.
Anyone else? We're gonna give you your own slide.
Okay. Just moving along with the city of Eustis for all the George Fest activities. Go on the city website and look at, it's a week long now. There are several free concerts. There's opportunities for vendors at certain days during the program. The carnival will be in town, so you can bring your kids. The parade, the Chamber of Commerce does the parade. So if you're interested in an entry in the parade, just come see us. You don't have to be a member. We'd like you to be a member, but just come see us. We also have a chili cook-off plan. So if your organization, your company, and it could be a team building activity. If you have somebody that knows how to do a good chili, master in Georgia Fest also. So there's lots of opportunities. Check our website, check the city's website, get involved, get visible, and give back a little bit to your community.
All right. In respect to everybody's time, we're going to go ahead and end the meeting, but before we discuss, you're welcome. Stay as long as you want to stay. We've got coffee, we've got goodies. If you have more for Byron, more thoughts for him, stay and give him your thoughts. Again, if somebody said, hey, I tried to watch on Facebook or something, apologize from the organizing team. This is what happens when Monty has another meeting, because his value to this group just went up exponentially. But at the same time, they're going, yeah, you know what? That's why you need to become a person. But yeah, again, apologize for those. We apologize for, kind of the makeshift that we did. We want to thank Jeremy for figuring out how to get it on that TV. So, but again, this is what we do every week. We thank you for coming. Spread the word. Bring a friend. We're still looking for one person from out of the country because we've gone in-state, we've gone in-country. We want to go international. So if you know somebody out of the country, bring them, and then we can say we are international when they come. Thank you, everyone. How you doing?